Good morning, my fellow Canadians. Well, I bitched and crabbed in previous posts about Canada going down the road to out and out totalitarianism. As I've said before, I feel a little like a Cassandra, just screaming into the wind for no effect. I do know there are some people who follow my posts, and I do say thank you. It's been an insidious process. The deterioration of Canada, Canadian values, our freedoms, our rights. It wasn't done in a massive sweeping movement like the October Revolution in the Soviet Union in old Russia in 1917. It's been a creeping, insidious erosion, nibbling away bit by bit by bit, while Canadians sit idly by and watch their country being destroyed. Now, that's not an exaggeration. Everything Canada was, everything Canada stood for, the kudos we held internationally because of our spirit, our can-do attitude. We were highly regarded internationally. I know this from my own travels. When they found out I was a Canadian, people found out I was a Canadian. And I wore the Canadian flag proudly, A, so people would know I was not American, and B, we got better treatment as Canadians. That's gone. The road to totalitarianism that has been had several contributing factors. The media, which I've gone on about, the educational system, which I've gone on about. But now I think the mask is gone and the gloves are off, and the naked face of elitist arrogance and dictatorial stupidity is exposed. The new legislation put forward by the federal Liberals under Trudeau, they want to make it a hate crime to insult a politician. So if I say Trudeau is an asshole, an arrogant, ignorant, moronic half-wit, I could be arrested. Isn't that nice? Shades of North Korea, anybody? Or the old Soviet Union? And now they're also pushing for basic universal income. Now, I went on about that before in a post. To de-incentivize those who want to work, who want to make their own way, to erode the spirit of independence, to give to those who do not wish to contribute equal measure to those who do contribute. Is that fair? Is that right? Oh, my poor Canada. But this is what they're proposing. Again, the old Soviet Union, Russia, they guaranteed everybody basic income. Everybody had work, make work. I'm not going to go in, I've gone on about that in the past. What disturbs me so much is the lack of common sense. And again, back to the educational system. We're not taught history, so people cannot look at historical precedent and say, look what's happening in Canada, look what's happening around me. No, it's going to happen. And it is happening right in front of our eyes. And people are still sitting there going, nope, 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 nope. Or watching the mainstream media and believing them. My godfathers, would you burn down your own home to keep warm? Would you be that stupid? Sadly, I think a lot of Canadians, that's exactly what they're doing. They're going to burn down their own home for temporary warmth. And by the time the home is burned down, they're going to sit there and say, we didn't know this would happen. And that's what's going on right in front of us. Right in front of us. We are sinking into a morass of totalitarian dictatorship. Watching this happen in the US, our southern neighbors. Think of it. Every stupid move made by the federal Liberals is being echoed in the United States. Open borders. Remember Trudeau? Come, come. Criminals, rapists, murderers, sex traffickers, gangbangers. Diseased individuals, no health checks. Oh no, that's a violation of their right, you see. It's a violation of their human dignity to subject them to health checks. Background checks. How many have gone missing? Never showed up for their hearings. They keep that very quiet. Now look at the US. Look at the mess that they're having on the southern borders with the influx of illegal immigrants. Not irregular migrants, illegal freaking immigrants. Call it what it is. Gun control. Biden is proposing the same draconian, useless, moronic, half-witted, ill-thought-out gun control that the liberals are pushing. With the same inflammatory rhetoric, the same lack of fact, common sense, or reason. They are echoing the stupidity of our liberals, just on a bigger scale. Because people do not study history or learn history, and I've gone on and on about this, the elitists who are pushing this, they suffer no consequence from this. The increase in the carbon tax, do you think that hurts them? So what if it's 5, 10, 15, 20 cents a liter more at the pumps? They don't care. They have enough money that it's barely a ripple. Now, at this time, they don't care. The little people suffer. In the midst of a pandemic, country is broke, and the federal liberals voted themselves raises. If you want to talk about out of touch with reality, could you be more out of touch with the reality of Canada and Canadianism? Barely got a mention in the mainstream media that they voted themselves nice little raises. I love the math, right? Oh, we only voted ourselves 2%. Well, if you make over $100,000 a year, 2% is a nice little chunk of change. If you make $20,000 a year, yeah, 2% is barely a ripple. The sad thing to me, and the historical precedent, the really dumb thing to me about watching these elitists do that, they don't seem to realize that it's all immediate. There's no long-term thinking. If you go down this path to totalitarianism, the two things that will happen, because they have always happened, the true believers, the proponents of totalitarianism eventually wind up getting rounded up, put into internment camps, muzzled, marginalized, or out and out executed. Because nothing is worse than a true believer who's finally seen the light, had their eyes opened, and turn, do an about face. And these people have to go because they're dangerous. Betrayed idealists are among the most rabid antis going. And the elitists, they can theorize and postulate and opine because it doesn't affect them until it does. And then you'll watch the screaming. And you'll see the people sitting there going, oh, I didn't know this would happen. Anybody with a brain who studied history knows exactly where we're going and what's happening in this country. You can see the progression. This is not subtle. This is not a hidden agenda. The mainstream media just keeps it quiet. But you cannot express a negative opinion about a politician if they deem it insulting, and they're going to meld this in with the hate speech laws. Seriously? And this whole COVID thing has been a tremendous boon to the government. It's been an experiment in compliance and obedience. They want to see how much the Canadian people have been dumbed down, how obedient they're willing to be, how much they will bow, how much of their rights they are willing to give up under the name of public safety. And they've done pretty bloody well. So why not keep riding the wave? Hey, we can get them to do this. Why don't we get them to do that? Why don't we just sneak this in the Legislative Assembly? Some more legislation that will destroy Canada and Canadian rights and freedoms. and people sit idly by. Nope, nope. Or just blind to it. Thank you to the mainstream media, of course, is a big one. We're fighting for our fucking lives. Don't you get it? Canada, as Canada, will cease to exist. It's not an exaggeration. I'm not being an alarmist. I'm not being an idiot. Historical fact. Everything that made Canada as great as it was, and was because it is not now, is going to be lost. I went on in a previous post. I don't know if it was a matter of happy consequence, serendipity, or were they actually intelligent and Machiavellian enough to institute a societal changes that would make life so difficult for the average Canadian, so difficult, so hard financially for the average Canadian, that their concentration would be focused just on trying to get by, and they would not have either the time or the inclination to look at the broad picture on a national level. Like I said, was this intent or just taking advantage of a set of circumstances? I don't know. I don't think they're intelligent enough to have actually planned this, but I would not be surprised, because as much as Trudeau is an idiot, there are some intelligent people, very few, in the Liberal Party, and they are sneaky and they are sly and they are out of touch with reality, historical reality and current reality. So my country as a country is dying. And every free Canadian who sits there with their eyes shut and doesn't want to face this, will not face hard reality, you're complicit in this. You're complicit in the destruction of your own country. And you'll be sitting there years from now, watching this mess that is Canada. Everything we knew sacrificed on the altar of some political theory. Everything you knew and loved about this country gone. And you'll be saying, I didn't think this would happen. I didn't know this would happen. Because you're stupid. You are ignorant. Everybody who takes that attitude, you are a freaking moron. Ill-educated, indoctrinated, and just out and out stupid. Now, would I call it treason? Treason would imply intelligence and at least some sort of theoretical or moral backing. I wouldn't call it treason. I just call it crass stupidity. You want to bow your head to the conqueror? Do it. But me, and there's a pile of Canadians like me, who will not, ever. The saying that I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. Well, there's a lot of us out there who feel exactly the same way. And to those people, keep educating the others. Keep your voices heard. Keep speaking up for this country, because it's a great country. And it can be saved. It can be saved if we get enough people who will stand up. Stand up to the tyranny, stand up to oppressive authoritarianism, and say, we will not comply. And to those of you out there who do this quietly, forget quietly, get vocal, get active, and start to help save this country. Sorry if it sounds negative, but that's my little morning spew out. Have a good day. God bless Canada.